I never believed in aliens or anything supernatural. Ghosts, ghouls, and extraterrestrial beings were merely tales spun to entertain us around campfires. My reality revolved around the mundane routine of daily life, devoid of anything mysterious or unexplained. But all of that changed one fateful night when my world turned into a living nightmare. It began on a quiet evening after a long day at work. As I arrived home, I felt an unusual chill in the air. The house felt empty, though I knew my family was home. I called out to them, but there was no response. My heart started pounding, a deep unease settling in the pit of my stomach. Slowly, I made my way through the darkened rooms until I reached the living room. There I saw them, my wife and children, sitting motionless on the couch, their faces devoid of any expression. The dim light cast an eerie glow upon their features, sending shivers down my spine. As I approached, they turned their heads to look at me, their eyes empty voids that sent a shudder through my soul. "Is everything all right?" I asked, trying to hide the trembling in my voice. No words came from their mouths. Instead, they emitted a haunting, otherworldly sound that chilled me to the bone. Panic surged within me, urging me to run, but my feet remained rooted to the spot. There was something horribly wrong, something I couldn't comprehend. My instincts screamed at me to escape, but the love for my family tethered me to their side. I decided to stay with them that night, even though every fiber of my being screamed for me to leave. As I lay down on the bed beside my wife, sleep eluded me, and I kept a vigilant eye on their unsettling stillness. Morning arrived, and with it my family seemed to return to normal. My wife greeted me with a warm smile, and the children babbled about their plans for the day. The terror from the night before faded into the background as I convinced myself it was just a bizarre episode, maybe some sort of shared nightmare. But over the next few days, things took a sinister turn. My family's behavior grew increasingly strange. They acted as if they knew me, knew our memories together, but something was off. Their laughter rang hollow, and their affection felt forced, as if they were merely mimicking the emotions they thought they should display. I confronted my wife about these changes, and she dismissed them with a smile that seemed so alien, so wrong. "Everything's fine, dear. You worry too much," she said, but her words didn't match the emptiness in her eyes. As the days passed, the facade grew harder to maintain. I found myself doubting everyone around me, wondering if my family had been replaced by imposters. The paranoia gnawed at my mind like a relentless beast, and I began isolating myself, unable to trust anyone. One evening, while sitting in the living room, I heard a strange noise coming from upstairs. Cautiously, I climbed the stairs, my heart pounding in my chest. As I approached my children's room, the sound grew louder, an eerie, alien-like chatter. My breath hitched in my throat as I pushed open the door. There I saw them, not my children, but grotesque imitations of them. They were twisted, nightmarish versions of my beloved kids, their eyes glowing an unnatural shade of blue. My legs gave way, and I stumbled backward, my mind refusing to comprehend the horror before me. Before I could react, they pounced, their hands extending into razor-sharp claws. I managed to escape their grasp, running back down the stairs, my heart pounding in my ears. My mind raced, trying to make sense of the madness that had consumed my life. Desperation took hold, and I knew I had to find answers. My search led me to an old bookstore, where I discovered obscure texts on extraterrestrial beings and their infiltration tactics. According to these accounts, aliens had the ability to mimic human appearance and behavior to gain trust and get close to their targets. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I devised a plan to expose the imposters. I researched methods to detect these doppelgangers and set up hidden cameras around the house, hoping to capture the truth on film. Days turned into weeks, and the tension at home grew unbearable. The aliens sensed my suspicion, and their masquerade became more convincing. Yet I held on to the hope that the cameras would unveil their true nature. One night, as I reviewed the footage, my heart sank. There on the screen, I saw my family transform into their hideous alien forms. They gathered in the living room, communicating in their strange language, plotting to keep me isolated, alone, and under their control. Terror washed over me as I realized the extent of their deception. They wanted something from me, something I couldn't comprehend, but I wouldn't let them win. I couldn't let them destroy my life. Determined to fight back, I armed myself with any makeshift weapon I could find. I knew that direct confrontation was...
The night was dark and dreary, as I walked alone along the desolate forest path. My name is Jack, a simple man with ordinary dreams and aspirations, never expecting to be a protagonist in an otherworldly tale. Little did I know that this fateful night would alter the very fabric of my existence. As I strolled deeper into the woods, an eerie green glow illuminated the surroundings. A strange sensation crept up my spine, and an overwhelming presence seemed to watch my every move. Fear took hold of my heart, but curiosity urged me onward, as if some invisible force guided my steps. In the distance, I saw an enigmatic craft hovering above the trees, emitting an otherworldly hum. It seemed surreal, like a scene from a sci-fi movie. My legs moved on their own, and before I knew it, I was standing beneath the hovering vessel. As if by magic, a beam of light enveloped me, and I felt weightless, lifted off the ground and into the belly of the alien ship. Inside, my surroundings were incomprehensible, an amalgamation of strange technology and shimmering lights. Alien beings, tall and slender, with luminous eyes that glowed like stars, surrounded me. Their appearance was simultaneously beautiful and terrifying. I was paralyzed by their presence, unable to comprehend what was happening. One of the beings approached me, its presence feeling both invasive and gentle. It communicated with me telepathically, introducing themselves as the Veldari, intergalactic explorers seeking to understand human emotions. They had chosen me, an ordinary man, to become their vessel for this experiment. Before I could protest, the Veldari used advanced technology to probe my mind, extracting every emotion, memory, and experience I ever had. They sought to harness the full spectrum of human emotions for their studies. I felt like a puppet, helplessly controlled by the strings of their inscrutable purpose. As days turned to weeks, I lost track of time, trapped in a cycle of prodding and manipulation. The Veldari's experiment grew more invasive as they tested how emotions could influence decision-making and behavior. I witnessed my own body committing acts I would never have imagined, driven by emotions I no longer had control over. Desperation consumed me as I clung to the last threads of my identity. I knew I had to find a way to escape this cosmic nightmare, but the Veldari's hold over me was absolute. My every thought and action were mere reflections of their intentions. One day, while imprisoned within my own body, I discovered a hidden compartment within the alien vessel. Inside was a peculiar crystal pulsating with energy. The revelation struck me like a lightning bolt. This crystal must be the source of their control over me, and perhaps it held the key to breaking free. Summoning all my courage, I seized the crystal and felt its energy surge through me. My surroundings began to warp, and the Veldari's control wavered. My newfound determination to reclaim my body sparked a surge of emotions that they had not anticipated. Their beautiful, serene faces contorted into expressions of confusion and alarm as I fought back against their manipulation. The emotions they had extracted from me now rushed back like a tidal wave. Fear, anger, love, and joy clashed within me, overpowering the cosmic strings that once controlled my every move. In a desperate bid for freedom, I shattered the crystal. The ship shook violently, and alarms blared as the Veldari scrambled to regain control. But it was too late. The ship's systems malfunctioned, and the once mighty vessel plummeted back to Earth, crashing into the forest where it all began. I awoke to find myself lying among the debris, battered and bruised but free from the Veldari's grasp. As the smoke cleared, I saw them lying motionless, their luminescent bodies now lifeless and dull. I had inadvertently turned the tables on them, breaking the hold they had over me and sealing their fate. The forest around me was eerily quiet, and I realized that the ordeal had come to an end. But the scars of the encounter remained, and I couldn't shake the feeling that the Veldari's presence still lingered within me. In the weeks that followed, I struggled to reintegrate into normal life. I was haunted by the memories of being a puppet, manipulated by an alien force beyond comprehension. The emotions I once took for granted now felt foreign, as if I were a stranger to myself. Despite the ordeal, I knew that I couldn't keep this bizarre encounter to myself. Humanity needed to know about the Veldari, their insidious experiments, and the dangers that lurked beyond our understanding. With great trepidation, I shared my story with the world, hoping that my harrowing experience would serve as a warning and unite humanity in facing the unknown that awaits beyond the stars. And so, my life became a tale of fear and fascination, of darkness and light, forever changed by the encounter with the Veldari. But